What's going on, guys? I'm going to get to these two characters in a second, but first I want to tell you a little bit about the news that you guys wanted to hear. I'm starting with Taisaro31. Talk about silver and gold manipulation by the Fed and hedge funds. For certain, the physical metal is, in my opinion, underpriced. Why are they manipulating it? There's a lot going on behind the scenes. We're not going to know. They're coming after Bitcoin as well. There's a lot in the works. There was a time when there was the gold price was pegged and there was a gold confiscation in this country. And that was a different country in a different circumstance, a different regime. People believed in the government. Today, not going to work like that. These people have a huge load on their shoulders. And what's done in the dark comes out in the light. You play games, you tell stories, you do dirty deals. It's never going to work out in the end. That's just a law of the universe. People just don't understand it. If you want to be a jackal and rip something off or something like that, like a hyena or a hedge fund, you should just go to the Serengeti and on the grass plains and live there and chase around antelope, because otherwise, if you want to be human, you got to be human. If you're in between, you're destroying the world. I'll be honest, the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry story to be a hot topic at the moment, so the views might be interested in this video. Somebody's asking about that. So this is some sort of a narcissist right here. She wants attention. She's this. She's that. I'm not in a position to tell her if she's black or if she's white, but I'm going to tell you that my father is darker than her. Okay, I don't really know what she thinks she is or what she's doing and all this other stuff. The crux of the matter is this: they got kicked out of the royal family. Okay, they get kicked out of the royal family because she couldn't control herself. Nothing to do with the color of her skin or her ethnic origin or anything like that. Now they don't have the finance behind them from the royal family. The royal family gets paid a hell of a lot. They get obviously Buckingham Palace and estates. And in return, they support the English people. They visit the hospital. That's their job. She wasn't doing it properly. She might be an illegitimate child. But they got kicked out. They went on their own. They couldn't make any money. They were trying to do promos or something like that. Some petty shit. But obviously, you got to learn how to do business to do that. You're not going to learn how to do business, hardcore business, like I do in the Diamond District, by being a royal. Right? Princess Diana, and I call him illegitimate possibly. If you compare the photos of Princess Diana's tennis instructor, he kind of looks like him, and he got the same hair color, so I find it quite strange. So that's really all it is on that end. They needed money, and Oprah said, here's a check, somewhere in the millions, do the interview with me, throw the Queen under the bus. And the Queen responded. She made a statement, short, sweet, smart, and that's just all there is to it. This world, the attention gravitates towards the couple and the Queen and the this and the that. Nothing to do with what's important for the dignity of a nation, of a country, of a people. But that's just the way it works. People want to talk about who's pretty and who's this and who's that and this, and nothing to do with their own lives. They don't have their own self-esteem. That's why they do that. I couldn't give a fuck less about them and Oprah and the Queen and the whole lot. That has nothing to do with what's actually happening in this world. But let's see if we can find something that does. How's this 1.9 trillion COVID relief plan going to affect the economy in the future? That's very important for people who have to feed their families. Meghan Markle, not going to feed your family. The economy is responsible for that to a certain extent, and how you create income. $1.9 trillion is $5,000 for every man, woman, and child in America. But they're going to get $1,400 a piece. So they're going to give you $1,400. You do the math, right? And the other $3,600 is going to go somewhere else to someone else, and it's going to devalue your dollar in the end to whatever extent. I have no idea. I know that 40%, there's a capital pool increased 40%, right? Let's say there was $1 trillion, now there's $1.4 trillion in the economy. Production has to meet that demand and all those extra dollars. I'm working to do that. I see the extra dollars in my own income in the jewelry business. I see what's going on. I'm playing that game as best I can because the American people aren't educated in school to deal with this type of problem. They have no idea what's coming for them. And Nancy Pelosi and the gang are screwing you essentially. They don't really, you're not their top priority. Someone asked Nancy Pelosi recently, I saw a ridiculous comment came out of her. Someone asked her, is this the last COVID relief plan you're going to make? And she said, ask the virus if it keeps mutating. She knows something, she's not telling you. I don't really know what to tell you on that end. Things could be done way more efficiently in this country and in the world globally. So for every $10 they spend, there's $1 that they should have spent, if you ask me. The other $10 are going places where they shouldn't be, and they could be made more efficient. Maybe that's $5, maybe that's $3, maybe it's 1-to-1. My estimate is that they wasted a lot of money, but you're going to get that capital, and you better put it towards an asset before someone else does, because if all the assets disappear, you don't want paper. You don't want money. You want the things that money buys. And that's that. Who's running this country? Great question. Biden hides from, this is Matt McIntosh 75. Biden hides from media. Yeah, he doesn't have the capacity. We talked about this before. He doesn't have the capacity to deal with the world's problems. Who's running the country? Kamala's taking phone calls from world leaders. Someone else is doing something else. Someone else is setting the agenda for this guy, Nancy Pelosi. It's being controlled. I don't see him making for the other 4 years. He hasn't dealt with a real problem, a military problem. Once they get wind of what's going on, they're going to start encroaching. When the cat's away, the mice are going to play. Mexico just legalized recreational marijuana. That shows you how backwards Mexico is. There's a reason why these people are running into America for something that should be available to them in their own country, in their own land. And I know this personally. I'm from Azerbaijan. I wish I could have been born in my country, stayed in my country, and it was an efficient, intelligent country, but it wasn't. I had to come here. And I don't blame the Mexicans for doing the same thing, but I wish my own country was a country that I could live in and prosper in, like Japanese people or German people do in their own countries. But you can't, because my country was mismanaged, this country is being mismanaged, Mexico is mismanaged as well. And it's a tragedy. Why do I say it's backwards? It should have been legal in Mexico a long fucking time ago. What are you waiting for? Just right now, 2020? You're trying to keep up with the world? They could have attracted tourism. They could have attracted this. Great question. Free Palestine? I wish the Palestinian people well. Everybody's fighting for a square of land over there. May the best people win to a certain extent, or share it and be fruitful and multiply, whatever it might be. I wish everybody well. Everybody deserves a home. No one should have anything taken away from them or anything like that, but that's not the way the world works. People take, they come, and this and that. Free the Native Americans, free Palestine, free New Mexico, free everybody, but it's not the way the world's going to work, and you got to make do with what you get. Mars, the space program, it's straightforward, speaks for itself. Elon Musk has a passion. He has a will to get to something, and he's going to get there. You're going to see people on Mars. You could sell your house, move to Mars, and be an indoor farmer and live on a red planet. It's not going to be easy. The real question is, what's the social structure on Mars? Because just like on Earth, there's going to be winners and losers. The losers on Earth, they don't get a Maybach, or they don't get something expensive. On Mars, the losers are going to be not enough water. You get a liter a day. Not enough oxygen. While someone else has, this much oxygen to them, you have to conserve. Or that's a tough thing. And I don't know how those questions are going to be solved, because people are not fair and they don't think about other people. They don't do that on Earth. They're not going to do it on Mars. Speak about Senkaku Island. I don't know too much about it, but I'm sure the Chinese got their finger in every single pie possible, right? They're going to advance. You got to put your foot down, but you put your foot down against a billion people and their will, and you're going to have a problem. China's on the rise. It's not playing around. Everyone blames price increases on the new president. In my opinion, it has nothing to do with him. And the global market crash is rebounding and so on. So it doesn't, but now he's going to be responsible. You want to be the president of the United States, you're going to have to take responsibility. You're going to have to maneuver around the problems that are here. Otherwise, don't be the president. That's simple and plain. Who are you going to blame? You got to blame the person who's in charge. Someone already mentioned this. All right. Yemen. This is a real story, right? You got Meghan Markle bullshitting around out there, and you got Yemen with 400,000 children at risk of dying. I don't know if this is true or not. I hope that it's not. but it might be. And people are struggling. Sectarian wars over there. Saudi Arabia is playing its hand. Iran is playing their hand. Both regimes that are disgusting in my eyes. All right, so started from the bottom. I appreciate you. Stock market pick. I don't know anything about that. We're not here to do financial advice at the moment, but I appreciate your comment nonetheless. Your thoughts on what's going on the border. Yeah, people are trying to come to this country. They're better off taking the risk, and they're better off going through this. The solution to the border problem is to make sure the country that they're in is prospering. It's not that difficult to do. Obviously, those people are willing to work. They just need something to produce, and they need an investment. All this country needs, all these low-income communities, all these problems, they just need investment, but people are greedy. Why would some of these people do something for you and invest in your community and invest in anything when they could just fool you and get people to vote Democrat or get people to vote this way or get people to do this? To do something kind for you, to see you prosper, is not in the agenda for the people en masse. They live in a gated community. They dangle a carrot at the end of a stick. They move it back. You go. You think. You this. You argue. You play. So these people need investment. Otherwise, they're going to pour across the border. You can lock down the border. You can let them in. You can build a new city somewhere in the desert where the immigrants can come. They don't have citizens. There's a million great ideas. You're not going to get any single one of them to be implemented by Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden. And that's just what it is. How about the hot topic of Joe Biden dealing with the Taliban? I'm not too sure. You tell me. Specifically the Taliban, in which they stated that if Biden doesn't uphold Trump's policies, they have established it'll be war all over again. Of course it is. It's Afghanistan. You open your history books and tell me where Afghanistan is prospering and doing something and doing great and doing this and doing that. I'll tell you something about bin Laden. Bin Laden waited to do that attack until George W. Bush came in. He saw George W. Bush. He saw Dick Cheney. He knew how they were going to respond. He knew that they were going to blunder and take America and dive it into a war or do something ridiculous, those bloodthirsty bastards with their war profiteering. And he hit the towers, and he got killed by Obama's hit squad. But they're still out there, and whether they're going to menace the United States, we don't know. Something could be done about that. We don't know what it is. If I had military control, I'd probably handle it properly as best as I could. And, me, as a person, I like to deliver results. I don't like to deliver stories. But I'm not in that position. I'm in the jewelry position and the news position. In the news world, I'm trying to get your opinion out there. In the jewelry world, I'm trying to gather the resources to give you the best possible prices. And if everybody undertook that type of mentality, we wouldn't have this type of problem in the Taliban, but we do. Hillary would have been implicated. Lots of shady, touchy, and made sure that nobody knocked out the piss out of Epstein in prison 6 feet under. Thank you for the commentary. You want to come and speak to my college and students? Sure, I would love to. Who else you could? But you have to get in contact with Mickey Trax. He's going to be in the he'll set it up for you. He's going to be in the description or the comments or what have you, the caption. Who else? Okay, that's not important. Germany is looking to forbid houses for one family only, tending to be, I don't really know if that's the case. I don't think Germans do anything so stupid as that, but they might, because they're going farther left, and you know what happens when you go farther left. Back to Hitler, back to the right. So that's what's going to happen there. Bitcoin will be the new currency. Perhaps it will, perhaps it won't. This is all the time I had for this session. I appreciate you guys commenting. Follow Trax News. Do your thing. We want that tight group of people that are going to make it happen. I talk to you guys soon.